that time of year. Check out what my 13-year-old will be using for her last year of middle school. Hey friends, welcome back to Regular Secular Mama. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cassie and I'm a 7th year homeschooling mom to 2 kiddos, currently ages 10 and 13 years old. Now, of course, I say 8th grade and middle school because it's all kind of arbitrary, especially when you've been homeschooling as long as we have. But it's nice to be able to call it something, and it helps for like sports registration and stuff. So anyway, let's get into it. Now, I have my giant stack of curriculum and notebooks behind me, and I was going to kind of flip through them and show you what we're going to be using, but a lot of it you're not really going to be able to see. So I'll just go ahead and explain what we're going to use and show some B-roll of me like flipping through some of these things as I talk about it. First up is group subjects. Now I'm going to kind of try to keep this short because it's going to be the same for both videos, but we are going to be using Build Your Library Level 7. We have used Build Your Library Level 5 and 6 over the past 3 school years, and it was great, but we're kind of done with American history. So I'm kind of looking forward to switching it up and doing something a little bit different. Now, we are going to try to stick to Build Your Library almost exactly as it's written. I know, crazy, right? But the past couple of years, I've been trying to kind of tie in different things like American history courses from Blossom and Root and from History Quest. And I enjoyed having all these different things to pull from, and I feel like we got a really good, solid, rich look into American history, but it was a lot for me to juggle, and it was fun to plan it out and like pull in different resources, but it was a lot of work still, and I don't have a whole lot of time on my hands with working outside the house. So as much as possible this year, we are going to stick to Build Your Library Level 7 as it's written. We are not going to replace the science because it's so well tied in. The zoology goes really well with all the world cultures and things like that. So I don't really want to replace that and take it out and do something else. Plus, it's animals, and that's just fun. So that covers our history or world cultures and geography, and our science with the zoology. Now, one other thing that at the very last possible minute, I decided not to switch out was the writing component. So Build Your Library is heavily influenced by Charlotte Mason. There's a lot of copywork and dictation, which covers a lot of the mechanics, things like spelling, grammar, that kind of thing. And then writing is usually kind of intertwined in the other subjects. So you have research assignments and you're writing a little bit at a time about whatever you're researching, or she usually will assign a weekly report. It's like 2 or 3 paragraphs in this report every week, and they're expected to kind of outline their thoughts and things before they write their report. So I decided that we would not continue using IEW. It worked so well this year as something they could do mostly independently, and all I had to really do was kind of check in with them and edit their assignments. I'll go into that in another video, my thoughts on IEW, and I planned to just continue with the next structure and style for students course this year or this next year, but I just wanted to really try to keep it simple, and it's kind of time consuming. So anyway, I will talk about all of that in another video. If you're interested in hearing more about IEW, let me know and I will bump that up my priority list. But we are going to stick with everything that Build Your Library is including for writing. Now, some other kind of language arts things that we are still going to continue using that are not part of Build Your Library are grammar from Michael Clay Thompson. I'm still a huge fan of how he does grammar, and we have just slowly been practicing grammar using those practice sentences throughout the school year, and I plan to continue doing that next year. We haven't really ventured into Grammar Voyage yet, which is the third foundational level of Michael Clay Thompson's grammar, but I have the books, and I think we pretty well covered everything that is in Grammar Town. So we will just kind of sprinkle in practice sentences here and there, and when we feel ready for it, we will go ahead and tie in some of the new things that Grammar Voyage covers. Something I came across when I was looking around on YouTube is this video from, oh, I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the channel name, but I will link her video down in the description, and I will include the name of her channel here. But she uses something with her kids for narration that she calls lit logs, and I am going to completely steal that name and just call them lit logs here because that helps me remember what they are. But basically, it is taking the idea of narration, but giving it kind of an artistic flair. So they have a sketchbook that's a little bit nicer quality, and they're expected to illustrate what they read or something from the book they're reading, and then narrate either a handwritten narration or dictated to her if they were, a little bit younger. And then that is included with the illustration as part of their lit log. I loved this idea because I've never been a huge fan of the Build Your Library narration cards. We tried them and some of them are really fun. I like the variety that's there, but I found that sometimes my kids, especially my 10-year-old, would take a lot of time to do whatever it was, especially if it was something like, build something out of Legos to illustrate what you read or whatever. It would just take the better part of the day to do this thing. And unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of extra time, especially time that I can help keep them on track. So I decided not to use the narration cards, but I will ask them for a lit log once a week, instead of the daily kind of reading journal response we've been doing this year. So hopefully it will be a little less monotonous for them and a little more fun and artistic, and it's just once a week, so it's not going to be this thing that has to happen every day. Okay, so moving on, the rest of this is pretty individual between my kids. They both still kind of need to work on their spelling skills. My daughter is getting pretty good. She's been using Phonetic Zoo from IEW, mostly because it's, again, really independent. And so she's been working her way through the B level of that. So we are just going to continue using that next year, probably very infrequently, just a couple of times a week. And so we'll continue with that. She is also going to be learning Japanese. She has been practicing on Duolingo for a while now, but it really isn't translating into understanding and being able to speak Japanese. It's fun and it's a good practice, I guess, but I'm hoping to help her find something that will really help her learn the language. So we are going to try out school classes for that, and I'm trying to narrow down my choices. If you happen to have a child learning Japanese and they do something like OutSchool or something similar, please let me know what they use and if you like it, because I'm still trying to figure that part out. Of course, we have our math figured out. My daughter used Thinkwell for pre-algebra this year. That's their 8th grade level math. And it worked so well. It was really independent. I basically didn't have to do anything at all. She's really good at working on stuff like that on her own anyway, so she was mostly able to keep herself on track, and all the assignments and things are graded online. So I loved it. It was super independent. It worked really well for her. So we are going to continue using Thinkwell, and she will be in Algebra 1, which is her first actual high school credit. So that's kind of exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking for me, probably not her. But that's what we're going to be using. I really like having the printed materials. So in addition to the online course with the videos, I also order the books. They have workbooks that have all the exercises in them, and then they have a quizzes book so they can, take their paper quizzes before they take it online, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be using for math. And let's see what else. We've got some extracurricular type things. She has been taking art classes with a local art organization, and that's been going really well. we may continue with them, or we may try another kind of co-op fine arts thing that I found. So we'll see if maybe we like those art classes better. And what else? Soccer. She's a huge fan of soccer, and she's been playing every season that she can, basically since she was like 5 years old. So we will continue soccer. Something else my kids do is they are in charge of cooking one dinner a week. And that helps me a lot because I work afternoons and get home around dinner time. So she has mastered her recipe for this past however many months. We will probably try to vary it up so we're not having the same thing every week, but that has been really good for them. And she also is doing a theater camp, not really a camp, she's doing a production this summer with a local theater playhouse. And so that's new here, but she has acted in the past. So I think she's really going to enjoy it. If she likes it and it works well, we may continue doing plays throughout the year with them. And I think that's everything for her. I am super excited about next year. I'm really looking forward to keeping it simple and just sticking to build your library and not trying to do too much, hopefully. It is her last official year, I guess, of middle school before we really buckle down and focus on those high school courses. So I'm hoping to keep it fun and a little bit lighter for her. And I hope it's going to be a really fun year. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And stay tuned because next week or maybe 2 weeks, I will post the next video with my son's choices for 6th grade. Thanks so much. See you later.